Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on some of the Hololive talent who have been on break at the moment. Now, if you don't know, recently we talked about the whole situation with Haachama and everything that went on with her live stream, which had a lot of fans concerned and obviously led to the point where she is now going on break for like health and discussing stuff with her family. Again, a lot of people were very concerned about what was going on, and a lot of people have been very supportive to Haachama, with a lot of kind of misinformation also being spread around, which obviously many people have been calling out. And also we had the announcement of Korone also going on a break as well due to apparently some family stuff. Apparently she's had some family members or family member who is quite ill and stuff. So again, people have kind of speculated that it's something to do with that. And many people are obviously supporting both of these talent and, you know, hoping that they come back very soon. But one person in particular that was very supportive of Haachama was Fubuki, who obviously, if you don't know, is another Hololive talent who was in her chat during the live stream that people were very worried about, right? Because essentially she was getting a lot of, you know, harassment and stuff in chat, and she has eventually kind of spiraled to talking about a lot of personal situations and things. And then Fubuki actually joined the chat and tried to kind of switch up the conversation, being like, oh, what are you making? Because her stream, she was making something, right? You know, saying, oh, what are you making and things, and trying to steer the conversation in a much more positive direction, obviously looking out for, you know, a fellow member, right? And it seems like she's actually covered some of what has gone on and essentially touched on Haachama and Korone's breaks, which I kind of wanted to show you guys and update you guys on, because obviously I know many of you watch Haachama and were pretty worried about what went on, because again, it can be pretty worrying after seeing that stream. So let's just get into the clip, and then obviously, yeah, we'll talk about it.
そしてね、コロネの話をしようと思ってたんでした。
So obviously starting off with
コロネがね、
Korone.
今ちょっとご家族関係で休養中で、ちょっと前からね、結構コロネがバタバタしてるのは知ってて、いろいろとね、遊ぼうって思ってたこととかをごめんねみたいな感じに遊べなかったりとかすることがあって、まあ結構大変そうだなって思ってる中、なんかついにコロネがね、休養ってことで、まあなんかゆっくり。
So yeah, obviously she was saying, you know, essentially Korone wouldn't be able to interact in a lot of kind of, you know, situations and stuff like that with, you know, other members, due to the fact of, you know, she had to spend a lot of time with her family and things like that. And now obviously this has led to her taking a, you know, a big break.
家族との時間を過ごしてほしいなっていうのと、まあ戻ってきたらね、やっぱりいっぱい楽しいことをしようなと思ってまして、コロネの発表が出る前に、実はね、コロネがね、一緒にやろうってやりたいってくれたゲームがですね、遊べるようになって連絡したんですけども、ちょうどね、その次の日ぐらいに声明が出て、そこでそうか、だから返事なかったのかっていうので、まあ、またね戻ってきた時に声かけようかなと。So
yeah, obviously it seems like she's had her hands pretty tied in terms of the situation going on, essentially not being able to reply back to Fubuki or maybe other members as well, in terms of like collaborations or wanting to play games and stuff and things like that. So again, obviously that kind of shows you how much this is actually taking up her time. I don't think she's not doing it out of like, oh, I'm just ignoring them. You know, she obviously has a lot going on, so she's unable to kind of, you know, communicate with her fellow members, right?
思い出した。ちょっとチャマにも触れとくか。
And yeah, Haachama, that's when they go on to.
チャマの状態がどうとかってのは全然知らないんですけど、なんかね、あんまり変なことを思ってほしくなかったのが、この間の1期生のコラボあったじゃないですか。レポして配信、あれ突発ではあったもののなんですけど、実は1ヶ月ぐらい前とかかな、チャマがここで1期生でコラボしようよって実は押さえててくれてた日程なんですよね。チャマから声かけてくれて、1期生でコラボしたい、チャマの旅行した先の写真とかを見ながらみんなで旅行した気分になりたいって言ってくれて、それが本当に嬉しくて、じゃあみんなでこの日開けとこうってことになったんですね。でまあチャマが休止することになってしまって、でまあ一応開けてた日程だしどうするみたいな話があって。
So it seems like obviously Haachama, this wasn't like it seems like in the case of Korone, it was a kind of like when this was going to happen kind of thing. It seems like Fubuki kind of noticed that, you know, she was being a little bit distant and a little bit like, you know, not being able to reply and things, obviously due to you know, her kind of responsibilities and things, whereas Haachama, this was more of a sudden thing, right? Because she was planning collaboration. She'd be like, let's do a Gen 1 collab and stuff, and showing pictures of a holiday, really happy. And obviously then the spiral happened on stream, and then obviously, yeah.
でそこで、でもまあせっかくね1期生揃ってるならやっぱり1期生で楽しいことしようよってことで、実は日 時間を決めてはいなかったんですけども、まあ急遽レポやるかってのでわちゃわちゃできるゲームをしようってことでなったんですよね。なので勘違いしてほしくないのが、なんかチャマを仲間外れにしていたとかそんなことは一切ないです。
Which was another really big kind of accusation that's floating around. Obviously, I was talking about misinformation and stuff. Many people were saying they were ostracizing Haachama, sorry. And, you know, this happens a lot of the time whenever drama, or not even drama, like a situation like this is not even drama. It's just her, you know, taking a break, right? But a lot of, whenever this kind of stuff happens, a lot of Hololive antis like to come into the space, spread some kind of stuff about like, oh, Fubuki is ignoring them, or this person is ignoring them, that person is ignoring them, which obviously was brought up a lot, you know, in the kind of people summarizing the posts and things, when that wasn't actually what she meant by that. And obviously, yeah, she's kind of clearing it up there. And saying it's not Gen 1.
せっかくチャマがね1期生でやろうって言ってくれてた、開けてくれてたみんなの時間だったので、そこをねやっぱり無駄にしたくないっていう気持ちで、なのでねチャマが帰ってきたらまた一緒にこうねコラボ日程合わせて旅行のお写真見て旅行に行った気分になったりとか旅行にしたいなと思ってます。なんか変なこと書かれてたこともあったので、コラボはそういうことだったよっていうのをちょっとお話しさせていただきました。
So yeah, obviously that is what Fubuki had to say about this situation, which obviously I think is all she can really say about it for now, because again, obviously there was a lot of stuff that came out about like friendships and her, you know, feeling a little bit lonely and things, which obviously, you know, raised some questions of like how much are they including her within collabs and things. But I think, you know, she makes it very clear that, you know, she has often, you know, wanted to do stuff with them and they've wanted to do stuff back. It was just kind of planning it and everything like that. And obviously she went on break, so they can't really do that. But I do think, obviously, it's just one of these situations that's unfortunate. And, you know, it's unfortunate this has been amplified by a lot of the Hololive antis who are going around spreading stuff. Because, again, I do think it is just a person who obviously just needs a little bit of a break at the moment. And obviously then she can come back to, you know, a ton of her gem mates who seem to be pretty open to the idea of collabing, doing some fun stuff, and yeah, maybe even going on holiday, she said, which, you know, would be great. And I think that, you know, Fubuki has definitely been the one to kind of push for that, right? She's definitely been the one that has obviously been in her chat, kind of helped her out there, and it's great to see because, you know, a lot of the time with other, you know, kind of agencies and stuff and groups, sometimes you don't see them interact that much, and sometimes you, especially whenever it comes to like personal stuff, like yeah, sometimes you'll see them interact on a collab or whatever because they have to, they're contractually obligated to, right? But it's good to see that, you know, obviously they actually care about each other, you know, outside of the contract, and that they're actually, you know, going into their stream, checking they're okay, trying to change the subject so that, you know, you can get the stream back on track and stuff. And honestly, I think that is obviously the best way to kind of go about it, right? So, you know, hopefully we do see more of that kind of happening within Hololive, because it is good to see that, you know, they're not just friends because they've just been put into a kind of situation where they have to be friends, but they're also like genuinely actual friends who, you know, are planning stuff to do together, are wanting to do stuff together. And obviously that's going to help Haachama, you know, hopefully come back in the future and kind of, you know, reintegrate herself into everything. And it seems like they got a lot planned for whenever she comes back. Obviously people are saying Fubuki is really trying to shoulder these circumstances and support the audience's feelings. I hope that she is taking enough time for herself or can take a break when things settle down, which yeah is true. She is obviously taking on a pretty you know, heavy role in like kind of, I guess, informing her audience about everything that's going on and essentially sorting some things out, right? Which, you know, should technically be what Hololive should be doing and cover. But again, I'm not sure exactly how much they're helping behind the scenes too, because obviously they can be as well. So yeah, we'll have to see if there's any information about that. But for now, obviously, it seems like both of these are still on break, and I hope that, you know, everything gets better for them soon with Korone and her family member, and also Haachama moving forwards. But it's nice to see that Fubuki is, you know, still planning stuff, still, you know, being very positive about things, and just kind of, you know, giving the audience a little bit more context, because sometimes these situations can end up being very like silent, and you know, the agency or whatever, they're like, hey, you know, you're not allowed to talk about this at all, you know, just continue streaming like normal, nothing happened. But you know, she's actually talking about it, talking about her experiences with them, and essentially you know, letting people know about what's going to happen in the future and how they plan to, integrate them in collabs and everything like that, which obviously is great to see. But yeah, that's essentially all there is for an update on Haachama. Hopefully we will see her back soon, and the same with Korone as well. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Again, I showed you guys in the last video, but look at this really cool vape cup. I mean, this one looks pretty insane, huh? I mean, you can get tons of stuff like this. There is a ton of like VTuber stuff on there. Again, they do so many collabs with VTubers. So again, check it, because there might be your favorite one on there. So definitely go and check it out. And again, you get 10% off, use code Kaza. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.